Good morning. I am Jim Dorsett.
And I'm Jeannie Dorsett, his happy wife.
In listening to Pastor Jason's messages the last couple of weeks, have been convicted that I need to come forward and share our story about our marriage and marriage survival. We got married very young. This was in 1966. I won't tell you how old we were. I remember boasting to a group of guys I was playing softball with. We were talking about a couple in the church who had had some infidelity issues, and I remember saying I would never do something like that. And 6 months later, I was tempted and failed, and I entered into an adulterous relationship with a woman in our church.
I suspected something was going on for quite a while. So did a lot of other people in the church, because they made me aware of that. I knew that it was my responsibility, according to them, to keep my husband happy. And so I was pretty devastated by what I thought was going on. There were times when I even contemplated suicide. And suicide can be very seductive for those of you who don't know it. I called Jim one day and I said, "Come home, we have to talk."
So when I got home that day, she asked me, so what's going on? And I told her what was going on, and we discussed it loudly and briefly, and she asked me to leave.
That's a nice way to put it. I kicked him out. I said, "You're going to leave," and I went and helped him pack, and he was looking at me like he could not believe, who is this person? Why do I have to leave? What's the big deal?
Well, I knew that I didn't want to lose my family, and I knew that I had to, I confessed to my children, who were 5th and 6th grade at the time. They were very young, but I told them exactly what was going on. And then I confessed in front of the church and asked for forgiveness.
Jim did call me, and he asked if he could come home. He told me he didn't want to lose us. I did not want to stay married. I was enjoying being free from walking on eggshells and worrying about what I was going to do that he wouldn't be pleased with. And so I think I stood like this before God, and I said, "I know I have to do this. I don't want to, but I'm going to, and you better show me that you can make something good out of it." Whew, that was scary, but I told Jim he could come home, and that's when the rest of the work started. There was a point where something happened that convinced me that Jim was really remorseful. And from that point on, I knew that we had a chance. I watched Jim submit to God, humble himself before many people. I watched that pride be drained out of him, and God started bringing out some amazing qualities in this man I was married to. And it wasn't a few years before I realized I am now married to the man I always had wished I had married in the first place. God healed both of us. It took a long time. We've been together 51 years now, married that long.
One of the reasons that we're sharing this is that we don't like to talk about it, as Jason and Mary mentioned a couple of weeks ago. There's things we don't like to talk about, particularly in church, but I know there's instances in the church where things like this are going on. So all I can say is confess and make yourself accountable and ask God to work it out. It takes 3 to make a marriage work.
I agree.